Shalom is always all praises, honor, and glory goes to Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai Bahasham, Rokahakwadash, double honor to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. Peace and salutations to the elect scattered throughout the four corners of the earth. Lord willing, this one will be edifying to the elect and straight to the point. And as you can see here in the caption on the picture, Jamaican man gets daughter and mother pregnant. And this Israelite man here, he's a content creator, right? And this may be fake, nonetheless, what stood out was the comments, right? The mindset of our people regarding things that are wickedness, things that are unrighteous, right? So the first comment I saw, this guy says he's proud. He said, am I the only one that's proud? That's what he's saying in the patois, Jamaican Creole, broken English, right? And this is probably the best comment here. It says carelessness should not be celebrated, and that's true, right? So it says it's not true. They're adult content actresses, whatever, right? The point is, people glorify these things. This guy saying he's bad, he's his general, giving him ratings, giving his approval, right? You have a few people that don't agree. Then you have, the Jake man, Israelite men, saying, oh, he's skilled. And then, let's see. Right, you have a few people that are disagreeing, but the whole idea, the whole point is not the idea. The whole point is that, you're going to have people that support these things. They see it as a badge of honor. They see it as a thing that's respectable, but it's very heathenistic because this is not in our Israelite culture. We were not created to be like this, as it says in the scriptures. Thou art a special people above all people on the face of the earth. We're created to be holy and separate from these nations, right? These other nations, right? And this is very wicked, right? See someone here, Jamaica win again. Big up Jamaica and God bless y'all. Like, why is this a win, right? Why do you have to, because Jake is destroyed for a lack of knowledge. They don't understand. Yes, we're allowed to have multiple women, but not in this way. You cannot, right? So let me just get into the scriptures right away. So this is Isaiah chapter 50, verse 20, and it says, woe unto them that call evil good and good evil, and that put darkness for light and light for darkness, that put bitter for sweet and sweet for bitter. Because if you were to tell people that this is wrong, for the most part, they're going to buck up, they're going to disagree, and says, why not? You're jealous, or you not like woman, or you don't like women, or some type of attack on your character because you're trying to tell them that this is wickedness, this is not right, this is not righteous, this is not what you're supposed to do, this is not how you have relations with women. You do not have relations with a woman and her daughter. And we're going to bring out that law in Leviticus, right? But they will glorify this the same way they glorify men having threesomes and sleeping with more than one woman at once, which is wickedness as well, because that's not how you have sexual encounters with a woman. You have it with one woman at a time. It's a very sacred thing. It's not something that you mix multiple women with, but they take on to the heathen. They've learned the ways of the heathen, or people are programmed to follow the multitudes, the wicked multitudes, to do all of the wickedness on planet Earth, and also lead the multitudes with doing wickedness as well, right? Because Israelite men and women are natural leaders, right? So oftentimes we're the ones that were doing these heathenistic things and holding the banner and leading the way, right? But the scripture says, death, woe to you, unbelief, and having unbelief, is a terrible thing because you're hopeless. You're better off being dead, actually dead, right? Okay, so Right. So this is Ecclesiastes chapter 10 verse 6. Folly is set in great dignity, and the rich sit in a low place. So the folly is glorifying things like this, these unrighteous things, these unlawful things, right? And the rich is speaking about you Israelites, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, Hispanics, Native Americans, an Israelite that look like the heathen, right? It's speaking about you. You're the rich that sit in a low place. You're in a very low place. We're in our captivity until this day, right? When you people have no clue who your power is and what is actually righteous and what is actually good for you. You people continuously, embrace wickedness such as this. Continuously embrace these wicked, so-called celebrities in our nation. You people continuously try to make a way, or not even make a way, because there's nothing wrong with trying to get better for yourself in the society. However, you continuously have an invested mindset in this world as if it's going to continue forever, and planning all kind of wickedness and doing all kind of wickedness while planning in this world, not understanding that this world is going to pass away and the world to come is forever, and that world will be ruled in righteousness, right? You don't meditate on Yahweh Shemel Shai because you do not know Yahweh Shemel Shai. As the scripture says, the ox knoweth his master's crib. Matter of fact, let's just get that, right? Don't want to butcher it, because you people don't know. You people are in a low place, man. We're all in a low place, but you can be in a high place spiritually with the Lord, with Yahweh Hashem Shai. Drinking of Yahweh Shai's blood and eating of Yahweh Shai's flesh. Believing truly on Yahweh Hashem Shai. But ultimately, the Lord has to call you to that. The Lord has to wake you up to the understanding, right? It's not up to us. Men of the Lord are on the highways and the byways, preaching the word of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, bidding to the marriage, but we don't have any power in who is going to be brought in. However, the Lord has set this thing up in a way where you people are going to some of you are just set up to be destroyed. No matter what, you're not going to know that you're not going to believe in Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. You may know you're Israelite, but some of you your lot is just to be destroyed, and then you're going to have the ones that wake up, at whichever time the Lord has, destined, each individual to wake up to this truth. But this is Isaiah chapter 1, verse 3. The ox knoweth his owner, and the ass his master's crib. But Israel doth not know, my people does not consider. So you don't know your powers. You're invested in this world. You're invested in Donald Trump, hoping that Donald Trump is going to turn things around. And when he shows his real self, that he's a real devil, she always been a devil, you people, lash out and say, no, we shouldn't have voted for him. Doesn't matter which devil you vote for. You vote for Biden, it's the same outcome. The earth is given into the hands of the wicked, and you people trust in the wicked, right? And you're going to fade away with the wicked. You're going to perish with the wicked. As the scriptures speak about the 1/3 and the 2/3, 1/3 will be saved. The 1/3 of Israel will be saved, with the 144,000 men included, and the 2/3 are going to be destroyed, which are you rebellious, wicked Israelites, right? You're going to be destroyed, and you're going to be brought back into the kingdom as righteous children, right? But you people don't care about Yahweh Hashem Yahshua. You people are faithless people. You people only hope, you people only, what's the word I'm looking for? You people only take on things that you're able to see. You only believe in things that you can see, right? And what is seen is not really, it's not as great as what's not seen, right? And I'm roughly, paraphrasing the scripture, because what's not seen is eternal, right? Is immortal, right? It's everlasting. Right? So we hope for things like salvation. We hope for deliverance. That salvation that we hope for, to be beamed up in the chariots, to receive that prize of salvation, in the kingdom. That's what we hope for. We hope for righteous things. We don't hope for for these vain things. Yeah, sure, we like women, we love women. Not even like, we love women, and we want to have more than one woman. And if a brother does have an opportunity to, have a relationship with a woman, however that relationship may go, he's going to take part in that. No man is saying that we don't desire things in this world, desire nice clothes, desire nice cars, and a nice house or living environment, whatever it may be. We all have these things that we like in the flesh. However, our mindset is not with this world. If we had the choice to to leave this earth right now, all sincere men of the Lord, all sincere believers would take that choice, because this world is terrible, man. This is not living. We're not living in a world where, life is actually being promoted. We're living in a world, as it's called, Babylon the Great. Just this whole walk, walking in the valley of the shadow of death. We're walking in a very dead place, a lifeless place. We're being ruled by the wicked. The wicked is destroying everything around, right? That's what the wicked is set up to do. So yeah, we're gonna have times where we enjoy things for a period of time, but our mindset is not to live here forever and prosper on this side. That's never going to happen. And for the ones that are prospering, they've got their consolation. They've sold out. They've sold out to the wicked. They've sold out to the so-called white man, because that's how they get their riches. They get their riches by doing wickedness. When I'm talking about riches, I'm talking about millions of dollars, right? Because that's what the real riches is for Jake. When you see Israelite men and women have that type of money, it's because they sold out. And I'm talking millions of dollars. I'm not talking, a few 100,000, right? I'm talking about millions of dollars that these wicked Israelites have. But it's because they embrace wickedness, right? They don't have no spiritual morals when it comes to Yahweh Hashem Shai. But Salakia, forgive me for going off a bit into that. So let's just get this here, right? So this is Ecclesiastic. I'll read this after. So this is Leviticus chapter 18, verse 17. And it reads, "Thou shalt not uncover the nakedness of a woman and her daughter, neither shalt thou take her son's daughter or her daughter's daughter to uncover her nakedness, for they are her near kinswoman. It is wickedness," right? So it's a commandment not to do this. But here it is. You're gonna have Israelite men such as him he's gonna promote these things, right? He's gonna promote this type of wickedness. He's gonna seek the glory, the praise. Say, yeah, I'm a galley. So I got a daughter and her mom pregnant, even though it's just for content and it's fake. It's still pushing a wicked vibration. Nonetheless, and this is Leviticus chapter 20, verse 14. "And if a man take a wife and her mother, it is wickedness. They shall be burned with fire, both he and they, that there be no wickedness among you." Exactly. And that's the punishment, man, for breaking certain laws. You people are lucky that we're not living in, a righteous society. And nonetheless, in the kingdom, none of these things are going to happen. Right? None of these things are going to happen amongst our people. So I'm going to close here. Sirach chapter 19, verse 12. The fear of the Lord is all wisdom, and in all wisdom is a performance of the law and the knowledge of his omnipotency, right? So you got to fear Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. These people are people don't have the fear of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. That's why their wickedness corrects them, man. Their own faults, their own mistakes that they make is going to be their downfall and their destruction, right? So I'm going to just leave it there. And Lord willing, that was edifying to the elect. As always, all praises, honor, and glory goes out to Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rukahak Wadash, Abad Babal.